The Mavs are officially done for. I think it's time. It's the truth. It sucks. It really sucks. Like I cannot tell you how much this sucks as a Mavs fan, but I think it's time to make another video talk about the Mavs because it is really, really bad right now. Kyrie Irving gets hurt tonight. I believe Jaden Hardy got hurt as well. The last couple months for Dallas Mavericks fans have just been unbelievably bad. Kyrie is probably going to be out now for the foreseeable future. I wouldn't be shocked if he's out the rest of the season. We'll see. Might not be as significant as it looks, but I don't really know at this point. Obviously, I mean, it started with, I feel like it's really been all season. Everybody's been hurt all year. Luka gets hurt on Christmas. He was about to come back. He gets traded. Right before he gets traded, Lively gets hurt, and Lively's out with a broken foot. And Dwight Powell was out for quite a while there as well, and still isn't all that much of a contributor. Then Luka gets traded, and what is the most soul-crushing move in the history of sports? I mean, I just don't think there has been a move by a front office that has more negatively impacted the fan base that I can think of in sports. There are probably a couple of examples over all of sports that are decent comparisons, but they are rare, they are far between, and they are extremely depressing. Like, I just don't think there's really ever been a ownership group and a front office that has spit in their fans' face like this in a lot of ways, where they are truly just, they traded the heart and soul of the city and did it in a just disrespectful, sneaky, rude way to him. Then they run this whole smear campaign on him, which is the most insane part. They're trying to smear the guy. It makes no sense. It's truly just disrespectful and depressing. And I don't know. It's really unfortunate. And I guess life goes on, but it is a really unfortunate situation to be in. And then after Luka gets traded, as terrible as that is, the injury bug just keeps hitting. Daniel Gafford gets hurt. He's out for 6 weeks. PJ Washington has missed a bunch of games, is out right now as well, still with injury. Now Kyrie has a knee sprain and he is out for the foreseeable future as well. And obviously the granddaddy of them all, the one I haven't mentioned yet, is the Anthony Davis injury. You trade for Anthony Davis. His first game as a Mav is going awesome. He's got like 26 points, double-digit rebounds, dominating in a win over the Rockets, and he gets hurt, re-aggravates some sort of adductor injury, turns into a groin injury. He's been out ever since, and there are no real signs of him returning here in the near future as well either. The season has completely and utterly tanked for this Mavs team. Plain and simple. They have no high-level players left in the rotation that are healthy, in all honesty. I mean, Max Christie has shown some flashes. Klay Thompson has good nights. Najee Marshall is a good player. Kai Jones was awesome. 9 of 10, 21 points, 8 rebounds. One of the best games of his career, in all honesty, in his first game as a Mav. But the honest truth is there's just not any hope for this season at all. Is there hope for the future? If guys like Kyrie and AD and Lively and Gafford and PJ are healthy next season, there's hope for next season. The honest truth is there's not that much hope for the future as a Mavs fan, though, and I think that hope could very quickly become less. For example, I just think there's a real chance that Kyrie could opt out this summer. He's got a player option. So first and foremost, I wouldn't be totally stunned if Kyrie opted out and if this is kind of the end of Kyrie in Dallas at all, which if that's the case, that is tragic. And I have to say, I love and appreciate Kyrie Irving. I mean, that guy has rehabilitated his image around the NBA in such a phenomenal way, and Dallas has become extremely popular, extremely loved by the Dallas community as well. And if he leaves in the summer, I wouldn't blame him in the slightest. I hope he has great success for the rest of his career. A guy who is truly, I mean, I am the biggest Kyrie Irving fan going forward. I hope he has an incredibly successful rest of his career and just life after basketball as well. Great guy, great player. It was a blessing to have him in Dallas. I hope he doesn't leave, but I wouldn't be shocked if he did. The ownership group has just spit in the face of the fan base in such a dramatic way, in a way that is truly unexplainable. There has not been a logical explanation that I have heard yet for this trade, with the exception of trying to put pressure on the state of Texas to legalize gambling with the threat of moving to Vegas. And this being rigged by the NBA somehow to keep the Lakers relevant, and because the NBA has been struggling with ratings, to get ratings going up and get the NBA more interesting. Those are the only logical explanations that make sense to me. And I'm not saying those are absolutely true, but it's hard to justify a trade like this where you didn't reach out to all the other teams in the league and you didn't make guys aware. And I mean, Luka claims to have not known. Jason Kidd claims to have not known. Is that true? If that's true, it's unbelievable. It's unheard of. I mean, I've listened to multiple podcasts, people talk about it, and they're like, I don't believe that because that's so insane. it's like Jason Kidd didn't look like he knew at the press conference the day after the trade happened. Luka looked stunned. I don't think he knew. Like, I legitimately think these guys were blindsided. It's the most baffling, bizarre trade in the history of professional sports. It still makes no sense. And then I haven't even talked, I am 5 minutes in the video. I have not mentioned the fact that the Mavs traded Quentin Grimes, who is younger and better than Caleb Martin, just dropped 44, for a guy in Caleb Martin who hasn't played a single game as a Mav. Baffling. And the logical, the explanation that was given was that they didn't want to pay Quentin in their offseason. Why not? He's an amazing player. The cap is going to go up. Pay the man. He's really good. As a Dallas sports fan, specifically as a Dallas Cowboys fan, growing up, I experienced a lot of disappointment. There were a lot of moments in my childhood and in my early teens and late teens that were incredibly crushing as a Cowboys fan. That's just how life as a Cowboys fan has always been for me, unfortunately. And nothing that has ever happened with the Cowboys, not Romo messing the hole against Seattle in 06, not getting destroyed by Philly in 08 with a team that was supposed to contend for a Super Bowl and getting destroyed in the last week of the season, not the catch that should have been called a catch by Dez, not the game where they come back from down like 24-3 against Green Bay and Mason Crosby, it's a 53-yarder because the defense breaks down. Like, there have been so many moments in Dallas for Cowboys fans that have sucked, and there's nothing close to this. There's just not. It's hard to explain how this feels. I don't know if an NBA fan who has not experienced something like that, of which I don't know if there really is anybody, can understand what it's like as a diehard fan of a team to lose the heart and soul of your city in such a painful way, because he didn't want to leave. He wanted to be a career Maverick, and he has said as much. And the fact that he is not going to be that, and probably will never, in all likelihood, be a Mav again, is the worst. It is so bad. It is legitimately almost made me... It's certainly made me watch less basketball as a whole the last couple months, really the last month since Luka got traded. I'd be lying if I said I didn't watch less basketball. Now, I still love it. I'm still making content on it, still certainly following it, but I am watching less games, plain and simple, Mavs and otherwise, than I was earlier in the season. And I don't know. It's hard for me to find my love for it at this point. It's certainly hard to find my love for the Mavericks. And the Mavericks season's over at this point anyway. I mean, they just cannot, at this point, withstand this many injuries. They're going to realistically likely be a 9 or 10 seed at worst. I mean, at best, and I would not be shocked if they fall out of the play-in. Now, the thing about falling out of the play-in is the Suns are actually terrible. And so I think that will actually be kind of hard to do. But they look like a team that's going to miss the playoffs this year, losing the first round of the play-in probably, and that will be it for the season. If they even make the play-in. A failure of a year. There's no other terms for it than that. They have to be good next year, and they have to contend to win a title next year at a very minimum to try to win back any fan support and trust, because it's all gone right now in the game. The team is just in such a terrible state. I mean, they literally went on Twitter today and raised ticket prices by an average of 8% for next season. There's no way they're making more revenue now, not even close, than they were a couple weeks ago. They have screwed themselves for the future financially. They've screwed themselves in terms of as a team. Like, it's a disaster. It's a complete and utter disaster, and it's hard to explain, in all honesty, how frustrating it is. So with that being said, that is going to do it for this video. I hope y'all did enjoy. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I will be back with more 2K content very, very soon. More NBA content very, very soon. I appreciate y'all.